BizNews Power Hour.
Welcome to the BizNews Power Hour, where we give you the rational perspective on business news that matters.
And it's the 28th of September, Tuesday. I'm Stuart Lowman, the managing editor of BizNews, coming to you from the Joburg studio. My colleagues in studio with me, I've got Jarryd Neves, Justin Rowe-Roberts, and Nadya Swart. On the show today, Justin chats to Stephen Nathan for some investment insights. Just give us a quick takeaway from there.
Geez, Stu, we spoke about a lot, but when Stephen Nathan speaks, I listen. We covered China, a PPC, and a few other very interesting related local and international global investment themes.
Our partners at the Financial Times give us the global look, and they focus on inflation today. And then Nads, you chatted to DA mayoral candidate for Cape Town, Jordan Hill-Lewis. Can you pick up what piqued your interest from that interview?
I must say, he just had such a great... There was an enthusiasm about the way that he spoke, and he seems very solid and stable, and his vision for the country is something I can get on board with.
My colleague in the UK, Linda van Tilburg, also chats to Samantha Skyron. She's the CEO of Oryx Desert Salt. And then, Nads, you also chatted to Helen and Anthony Dugan. Can we just get a quick background to those two?
So it's a couple in their late 70s that in 2015 started this mass movement to clean the rivers in Joburg because there was a sewage problem close to their home. And it's incredible. They've just gotten this whole community that gets together and takes care of the planet.
Excellent stuff. Looking forward to all of that. Jarryd, can you just give us a list on the top stories being read on biznews.com?
So the top stories on biznews.com today, Rob Hersov continues to be popular on the website with the Community Speaks piece running along rather nicely. An article written by Ivor Vector is also picking up the pace. The freelance journalist notes that the ANC has reduced South Africa to what he calls beggar status. This is with regards to President Cyril Ramaphosa's address at the United States General Assembly. And then Simon Lincoln Reader's column on the Biden administration is also going along rather nicely.
And Nadia, on the BizNews TV side on YouTube?
The first theme is very similar, the 3 Hersov videos, so his live stream from yesterday and the 2 from the conference. And the second video that's doing really well is the Alex interview with Phil Craig of the Cape Independence advocacy groups, where he confirmed that they'd handed over a referendum for Cape independence. And the third video is the live stream of Bronwyn's interview with David Shapiro.
I see there's a similar theme on the podcast side of things. Rob Hersov, top of those pops. Justin's interview with David Shapiro, where they chat about Capitec, Aspen, and Sasol. And then last night's BizNews Power Hour wrapping up the top 3. But let's look in on the news and markets.
BrightRock believes that with every change in life comes opportunity, and the markets aren't any different. The daily movement in the markets means change for us all, sometimes small, sometimes big. This daily market report is made just for you by BrightRock, the first ever needs-meshed life insurance that changes as your life changes.
Here's the latest flash briefing. I'm Nadya Swart. South Africa can't afford to implement a basic income grant, South Africa's biggest business organization said, wading into an argument that has divided the ANC. The country should instead consider an unemployment insurance type product, Business Unity South Africa said in a statement. Even then, it should only be put in place if labor market reforms are enacted to boost employment, the fiscal deficit does not widen as a consequence, and payments are to those in need and are not universal. With the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, South African unemployment to a record, calls for a basic income grant to be implemented have increased. South Africa recorded its first quarterly primary budget surplus since 2018 in the 3 months through June, a sign that the National Treasury's efforts to bring spending in line with revenue are succeeding. According to the South African Reserve Bank's quarterly bulletin, the government's primary balance swung to a surplus of 9.8 billion rand, or 0.6% of gross domestic product in the first quarter of the 2022 fiscal year, compared with a deficit of 2.2% of GDP in the previous 3 months. New data shows how South Africa's tourism industry was completely hammered by lockdown in 2020, losing approximately 164 billion rand in tourism spending and around 1 million jobs tied to the industry. According to the Bureau for Economic Research, the jobs lost are not only in the tourism industry, but many other sectors that are tied to it all across the value chain. Currently, any recovery in the sector is being driven by local and regional travel and hospitality, with much of the international market still unable to travel to South Africa. Occupancy is down, and the industry's contribution to GDP is a third of what it was pre-lockdown. Justin, how are the markets looking?
This is the market report, and I'm Justin Rowe-Roberts. The JSE All Share Index is down at 64,000. In the currency markets, the rand is weaker against all the major currencies to 15 rand 14 cents to the dollar, 20 rand and 50 cents to the pound, and 17 rand 67 cents to the euro. Gold is lower at $1,731 an ounce. Kruger Rand is trading at around 27,500 rand. Brent crude is up, trading around the $80 mark barrel. And the premier cryptocurrency will put you back 635,000 rand. In the financial news, JSE listed cement manufacturer PPC has provided an update on its restructuring and refinancing project, which has been underway since November 2019. The project is centered on implementing a sustainable capital structure and improving the investment prospects of the group. The need to undertake restructuring and refinancing was primarily as a result of investment in PPC Barnet in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a role which PPC assumed in 2014 as a project sponsor, but which also resulted in contingent claims against PPC to provide ongoing deficiency funding to PPC Barnet. PPC advised that the South African lenders had agreed to review the need for a capital raise should the South African business of the company continue to de-gear towards a sustainable debt metric of around 2 times EBITDA. Brent crude oil soared above $80 a barrel, the latest milestone in a global energy crisis, on signs that demand is running ahead of supply and depleting inventories. The international crude benchmark extended a recent run of gains to hit its highest mark since October 2018, whilst West Texas Intermediary also climbed. Oil's latest upswing has come with a flourish of bullish price predictions from banks and traders, forecasts for surging demand this winter, and speculation the industry isn't investing enough to maintain supplies. The jump to $80 a barrel also is adding inflationary pressure to the global economy at a time when prices of energy commodities are soaring.
This market report was made just for you by BrightRock, the first ever needs-matched life insurance that changes as your life changes.
And that's it for today. From myself and the rest of the BizNews team, have a good evening. Until tomorrow, cheerio.
You've been listening to the Power Hour, brought to you by the team at BizNews.